Good morning, friends, and welcome back to Beyond the Summit. We have more I-League coverage. Resuming tonight, we've got 3 best-of-1s as the initial rounds of the America and Europe Group A and B get underway. Big matches coming up tonight. First of which, not so exciting. We kind of just picked a random one. There's a lot of unknown teams in this open tournament. We're going to get things started with Anasha Gaming versus Shaman+4. Your guess is as good as mine. Who knows what we're going to see. Now, where things get interesting is coming up in our second and third games. Our second match tonight will feature Team Tinker in their first round best-of-1. And then after that, we've got the Group A second round underway. And there's a Sneaky Nyx Assassins game, and there's also a Navi US game. Narvi, if you will. So, not sure which of the third games we're going to do. We're definitely going to be doing Team Tinker coming up as our second game. Then after that, kind of the sky's the limit. So hopefully the schedule falls into line. We got started a little bit late today. We're about 10 minutes past the hour, and our draft is just now underway. I'm Zyori, and I am slated to solo cast today. David Paka's feeling a little under the weather. He was quite sick before and trying to avoid getting sick again. So I'm flying solo for now. Who knows? Maybe a remote co-caster will pop on. But let's hop into this draft and take a look at what's going on here. So, wow, throwing myself right into the deep end here, guys. It's been a while. I tweeted yesterday I was feeling a little rusty after the cast with Parker, and now I'm solo casting. So let's see how this works out. So we've got Anasha Gaming versus Shaman+4, and it was a first pick of Baden coming out from Shaman+4. Anasha went ahead and grabbed the Invoker Doom, 2 very scary heroes to see first picked, and of course that is a Witch Doctor you see second picked there by Shaman+4. As I mentioned, I have no clue who these teams are. I don't recognize a single one of their names, so I'm not sure if they're evenly matched or if this is going to be a 10-minute GG one-sided stomp. Based on the draft so far, I'm going to go ahead and say that Anasha Gaming have a slight advantage. You've got Rasta on the dire side, of course, plenty of crowd controls, a little bit of early gank potential there, and then you've got your Roshan control with those Rasta Pasta Mass Serpent wards. So plenty of Roche control there. Doom, a nice flex pick for your first or second grab there. Not sure how they're going to run him. So open-ended. You know, they could put Invoker in a safe lane, they could put him mid, they could put Doom pretty much anywhere. The options are pretty limitless for our dire team to get things started here in our first game of the day. Let's take a look at some of these bans from Shaman+4, and they look fairly straightforward here. DP, Brewmaster, Viper, and the Razor. All heroes we see banned out pretty frequently. The first ban, DP, is probably the most jarring of them all. You'll see DP banned out as kind of a respect ban sometimes. You see her banned out now to try and stop the death ball type strategy, so perhaps they just don't want to deal with that crazy all-in push. But Anasha have done pretty well for themselves in terms of finding other heroes that can push pretty darn well, especially if Invoker goes for that Exort build, and Doom not so bad in pushing either, especially if he opts for the auras. Now, Shaman+4, they'll grab themselves the Bat Rider with their third pick, so they now have some initiation power. Good stuff there. It's always hard to guess how teams are going to draft and how things are going to unfold when you don't know anything about the players. Half of the drafting is understanding what the captain's like and what the teams do well. You know, there's a lot of strong heroes in the pool, but they're only strong if you know how to play them. Invoker is a prime example of that. If you have a great Invoker player, sure, pick him up. But if you don't have anybody in your team that can play the damn Blood Elf, then, well, probably not going to be the best of choices. Anasha will go ahead and grab the Juggernaut here, so a nice little bit of lane cheese if they can pull it off. You've got your Shackles mixed with the Blade Fury. That's always a potent lane combo that can certainly catch folks off guard, especially the Abaddon early on. At level 6, he gets a little bit more difficult to kill, but if they go head-to-head, try-on-try, could get interesting. I don't know. Abaddon and Witch Doctor are actually pretty good tri-lane heroes, so we'll see how Shaman+4 opt to lane this. The other great thing about Juggernaut here, he kind of kills 2 birds with 1 stone. That healing ward's so damn good for pushing. They'll be able to group up and knock down towers pretty damn easily. Invoker, Shadow Shaman, and Juggernaut, all pretty synergistic in terms of pushing between wards and summons. And that nice percentage-based AoE heal from that pesky little ward. So what do Shaman+4 need here? Obviously, they're going to need a carry. It looks like it'll probably be an off-lane bat. I want to say a safe lane try with... I don't know. Oh, Slardar. Interesting.
Dire team ban.
Now, what's particularly interesting about the Slardar here is that he synergizes well with minus armor, and usually you'll see him paired up with someone like a Dazzle, perhaps. Even though they're just good setup in the lane, he is quite good with a Baden. You can shield him up, and then Slardar can dive towers and do a little bit of extra damage and that kind of stuff. But you don't really see Slardar picked too often these days, and Slardar Dazzle is kind of that one of those classic duos that I go back to. Also, Slardar Venge is another very good combo, but we don't see either of those supports picked up here, so I don't see a huge amount of synergy amongst this Radiant draft with the Slardar. But we'll see. Maybe this 5th pick will be that hero that ties it all together. Witch Doctor's ultimate is physical damage, so there's kind of a natural buff there from the amplified damage and then the death ward, but that's kind of reaching a little bit. That's only one target that gets minus armor and gets wrecked by the ward. I don't know. I'm having trouble seeing how this draft is coming together, but I'm not going to judge it until we see that final pick come out.
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
So, Anasha going to take their time with this final pick. Now, remember, guys, there are 3 best of ones tonight. This is the opening match. Team Tinker, the one that everyone wants to see, is coming up in the 2nd game today. And then the 3rd game of the night is either going to be the Sneaky Nyx Assassins or Navi US. A lot of folks have been asking about the particular bracket for this tournament and if there's an easy schedule to follow. Again, worth reiterating, it's an open tournament, so there is a massively huge bracket. It's 2 groups, and I think it's a round of 128. It's massively big. So a lot of games go on at the same time, which makes it kind of difficult to say how things are settling down. But yeah, Team Tinker is in game 2. I see some people posting about that. So all right, here we go. Dazzle, the final pick for Anasha Gaming. Maybe a little bit of a deny pick there. Of course, they also needed another support for themselves, so kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone. It's a one-man show tonight, folks. Sorry, you have to bear with me here. There.
Prepare for battle.
Come on, computer. Come on, computer. Uh-oh. I think Xbox about to crash. Oh, no. Oh, there we go. Whew. Woke up. Okay. Oh, God. Oh, man. We're in for a long night, folks. Skidoki, here we are. So it was a Dazzle final pick, as I was mentioning. Kind of a deny pick, perhaps, but would have been sort of a funky setup from Shaman+4 if they had gone ahead and picked a 3rd hard support with the Dazzle. I guess they could have done something like a Dazzle mid. But anyway, theory crafting for another time. We will see Shaman+4 start off with a 5-man smoke. Bought their items nice and quick, and they will do a little bit of a jungle invade here. Let's see if they have any interesting items. Nope, Stout Shield on Slardar, Stout Shield
30 seconds
on your Night Stalker there. Nothing too crazy. We'll see if they drop some wards. Looks like they might bump right into the Doom. They ping him out, and oh, Noob Saibot, you are in the danger zone. He gets caught by the cask, and this should be a pretty easy first blood. He does level up the Scorched Earth, and never mind. That first point in Scorched Earth can be enough to save him with a little bit of regen and the movement speed. He walks right away. I thought they might be able to jump on top of him and set up with a Slardar Slitherine Crush, but never even got that far. So, all right, there you have it. A failed first blood attempt from Shaman+4, and the Dire side will have a minor victory to get things started. Bat Rider also leveling Sticky Napalm here on that first level. Radiant offlane makes things a little bit easier, but this is generally a pretty risky play here. Bat Riders tend to start with the Firefly first, especially in the offlane role. Well, we'll see how it works out for him. It will indeed be a safe lane try for Shaman+4. They'll have My Undies Strike You. Playing on the Slardar here. Heyo playing on the Abaddon. And Unke playing on the Witch Doctor for the safe lane try. In the mid lane, it will be Psycho playing on the Night Stalker. Did pick up a double damage rune to get things started. And it is Micro Ice playing on the off lane Bat Rider. Now on the Dire side, we do have an aggressive tri-lane here. Mushu playing on the support Shadow Shaman. Mr. Green going to be on the Juggernaut here in the position 1. And to P or not to P, going to be on the support Dazzle here to join them in this tri-lane. Now in the mid, it is Tampex. Oh, goody. Playing on the Invoker here up against old Night Stalker. And it is a solo safe lane Doom being played by Noob Saibot, the one who survived the initial onslaught in the jungle. Will now move into the lane, hits level 2, and grabs himself the Devour. So a little bit of a slow start for the Doom, but recovery well underway. Looks like this mid lane going very well for Night Stalker out of the gate. Psycho 7-3 against the 2-0 Invoker. He is indeed going for the Exort build, has that first point in Exort, and Sunstrike ready to rock and roll. Robe of the Magi opener. Fascinating. Probably safe to assume that he'll be going for an Orchid here, but more often you see that rush for phase boots. Robe of the Magi opener. A little different, but see how it works for him. Now, let's talk about this tri-lane a little bit. Oh my god. No excuses. Bat Rider. Wow. I need more coffee. Well, Mr. Noob Cybot here, this is going to be extra rough for the Doombringer here in the top lane. Shouldn't really happen for the most part, and some of that I think is not having a devoured creep. Going Scorched Earth level 1 is definitely not ideal, but down bottom will catch this one. Mr. Green gets initiated upon. Shackle comes out onto the Slardar. Green's on the run, but now it's Mushu that's going to get left behind, and I think this Shadow Shaman will take a tumble here. Yep, that Slithering Crush will be more than enough, and Slardar's the one to secure the kill. So that'll make it 2-0 here in the first 2.5 minutes of gameplay. Shaman+4. Off to the races here with the first couple kills up on the board. Witch Doctor not going for the Maledict. They don't really need the extra damage to secure kills. Instead, going for that Voodoo Restoration. So helping out his teammates in lane, giving them some sustainability. And Spell not to be underestimated here. Invoker now picking up his boots as his first item delivered on the Courier. And Night Stalker, he did go bottle first, grabbed himself the 2-minute Illusion Rune. And he is still just trashing this Invoker here, doubling his CS, and that Stout Shield worth its weight in gold right now, I guess, helping him with his lane presence. But Tampex here just getting out laned, and well, this is rough. Night Stalker, one of those snowball heroes, and with the changes tonight a few patches ago, usually, or well, more often than not now, it feels in that first night you'll see Night Stalkers just farm their way through, and then really go crazy in that second night and pick up a lot of momentum. But if you're the #1 CS leader by this big of a margin, he might be able to do some work in this first night here, especially if that 4-minute rune is something a little bit more aggressive. Of course, Illusion, not really ideal for the Night Stalker, but if he gets a haste or a double damage or something like that, things could get pretty scary as he starts roaming around the map. This tri-lane getting a little bit more difficult for the Dire side as well, since they did concede that death. Now, Shaman+4 just completely dominating it. Slardar, #2 on the last hits, 14-3 versus the 7-0 Juggernaut. So that's 2 lanes now that are going completely in favor of Shaman+1. And oh, this top lane. We haven't talked about it in a little while, but Bat Rider getting the better of Doom. The CS is more even than the other lanes, but still a fair disparity between the two. And of course, Micro Ice here was the proud receiver of that First Blood bonus gold. So really looking quite good for Shaman+4. I thought Anasha had a slightly scarier draft. At least their opener was a bit scarier, but so far the execution going in favor of Shaman+4 with all 3 lanes just kind of a disaster for the Dire side. 2,000 gold, 1,000 experience already in favor of Shaman+4. So at this rate, all I need to do is keep it up. They're off to a good start. But Night Stalker grabs an invisibility. That was our 4-minute rune here. And he hasn't started moving around quite yet. Did go level 6 ultimate, grabs the darkness, and pops it straight away to try and extend the duration of that first night. Looks like he will engage on the Tampex here. And will he have the kill? A lot of base armor on that Night Stalker, so he can dive towers pretty easily here in these early levels. Looks like he might find a Courier here. Gloves of Haste were on it, and Invoker will pick him up. Courier survives. Now Psycho could be in some trouble. Cold Snap comes out, as does the Scorched Earth. Sunstrike will be off the mark, as it is nighttime. He's cruising around, and Night Stalker will survive to tell the tale. Still has a bottle charge available, and he will be just fine. So almost making it big there. Could have killed the Invoker and possibly the Courier, but couldn't quite make it. Invoker doing just a different build here. Power Treads, the first item for him. You don't see Power Treads on Invoker too often. I feel like Phase Boots or the Brown Boots are what I see most commonly. And, well, just rushing the Power Treads. We'll see how it works for him. We'll hold that thought, though, as down bottom. Initiation comes out. Mushu takes a stun, but it's Anke that's in trouble. The Blade Fury doing a lot of damage. He heals himself up, stays alive for now. Mushu on the run. He takes a grave, and it looks like Slardar will be able to chase him down. Meanwhile, on the other side of the fight, can they secure another kill? Doesn't look like it. They ping out the Witch Doctor, but he's just too damn tanky. Now the Slardar comes back in. Dazzle in trouble. Takes a Slithering Crush. There's the cast bouncing around. The heal coming out as well. Dazzle should take a tumble. Down he goes. Double kill for Slardar. Now Mr. Green, the target of choice, has enough for one more Blade Fury, but too many right clicks, and it's a 3-0. It's a disaster for Anasha down here in the bottom lane, and I think their tri-lane has officially been massacred, as we'll make it 5-0 here in the first 6 minutes of this best-of-1 matchup. Again, opening round, single elim. Elimination is on the line here, folks, and Anasha, well, they need what seems like a miracle at this point. Nearly 3,500 gold, 3,000 experience at only 6.5 minutes. Every lane disaster. So right now, Invoker is kind of the big breadwinner, sitting here with his cute little power treads, but just isn't enough. So far, the Sunstrikes haven't really been on the money, and not a lot of setup for the Sunstrikes either. Pretty much just the shackles, but it's tricky. It's a tough world out there for a Shadow Shaman in this tri-lane. He's just so damn slow. They can chase him down, especially now that Slardar has his power treads up. 750 gold up on him. This is going to be a damn fast Blink Dagger timing for Mr. Slardar here. Very close to level 6 as well. And, well, just mounting evidence that this tri-lane is going to become more difficult here for our dire side. Mr. Green only halfway through level 4, so Slardar's going to hit 6. He's going to have that massive -10 armor from the amplified damage, and I'm not sure what this Juggernaut's going to do. Dow's only level 4 as well. Pretty standard build here, 1-1-2, and there's just Slithering Crush, chases down the Dazzle. Look at that damage coming out. Slardar secures that kill. Sunstrike coming in. Is it going to make a difference? Yeah, AO is actually going to fall. They will be able to dive. Mushu as well. It's a 1-for-2, but it's not done quite yet. Slardar, he's going to survive, it seems. Psycho very low as well, but he pops Darkness. Yeah, he sure does, and Salve comes out onto the Slardar, so ends up being a 1-for-2 exchange, and that is where it will settle down. Witch Doctor, oh, he falls to a neutral. Oh, okay, there you go, gets a little deny going on. So Noob Saibot denied that kill. Very nicely done. Ends up being a 2-for-2 exchange, but Anasha don't really get too much out of it. Shaman+4, yeah, they lose out. They have a couple of deaths, but one of them denied, and I think they still get the better of it. Slardar got some extra experience, now level 6, and 1,300 gold. His income is just skyrocketing at this point. Looking at the net worth, that pretty much tells the story of this game, I think. Let's take a look at Batrider. He's been pretty quiet. We haven't seen too much out of him in the last few moments of this match. And wow, he's looking pretty darn good as well. Fast Blink will be the name of the game. 1,850 gold at the 830 mark. He's also level 8. One of the great things about laning as a Batrider and getting this kind of farm is you just get so much experience. He's almost level 9 already. That solo kill certainly helped. He'll bump right into Noob Saibot here. Does have a lasso available, but not the mana pool for it, so won't be able to secure the kill. But does jack this creep spawn here and will further make Doom's life difficult. Looks like Night Stalker roaming about, moving into the dire jungle. Does have himself phase boots as well as the Urn of Shadows complete. So they might be able to set up a kill on old Noob Saibot here. Has no Doom available. And just sitting on critical strike. So this should be a pretty easy kill. Micro Ice got his bottle back. Has himself a lasso if he can connect with it. Just needs to get in position. Psycho has another slow available. They might not even need the lasso here. He'll burn it anyhow. No Firefly. The Grave comes in. Beautiful TP from to P or not to P. And that'll keep Noob Saibot alive. Can they try and turn this around? Doom will fall. Throws the ultimate out onto Micro Ice, but no way they're going to be able to secure a kill there. Meanwhile, down in the bottom lane, Witch Doctor did get picked off. It was Juggernaut that secured the kill. And it looks like just a Blade Fury kill coming about. So 1-for-1 across the map, but Doom does take a tumble with the lasso here in the top lane. Tampex coming into the bottom, and maybe Anasha will get into a little bit of pushing here. They do have 3 heroes and an illusion rune on the Invoker, so a rune that does work quite nicely when you're trying to knock down a tower. Invoker now picks up a Bracer, so possibly just moving into drums. Power Tread Drum. Exort, alright. See how it works for him here. Slardar very close to his blink now, just about 200 gold away. Abaddon not quite at that level 6 mark yet as this first push is underway from Anasha. There's your healing ward down. It's only level 1, but will make a pretty big difference here. Looks like Shaman+4 do want to try and defend. Noob Saibot off to the side. No ultimate available, but does take an amp damage. So they know exactly where he is. Looking at the ward situation here. This is the dire vision. They've got a ward right here, so they have a pretty good idea of what's going on. Radiant vision is what we're looking at now as they have a ward down in this area as well. Mr. Green starts it off with a Blade Fury, and there's a Shackle coming out onto the Witch Doctor. Now Mushu, target of choice as Micro Ice pops forward. Shadow Shaman, the first to fall in this fight. Tampax, Mr. Green, and Noob Saibot all caught by the Slithering Crush. Slardar taking some return damage here, but the sustain from the Witch Doctor keeping him alive. Juggernaut now the second one to fall. They'll continue to press forward. To P or not to P. He'll be the third to fall. All right, pardon me, the fourth. Wow, it's just a massacre here. 4-0, and it's not done yet. Noob Saibot, he's lost his armor and soon to lose his life. That's a clean sweep. 5-0, and they're so low level they're respawning before it can count as a full team wipe. But disastrous engagement for Anasha right there. A complete 5-0 exchange. The push
Dire's
completely
bottom
thwarted,
tower
and
is
that's a
under
blink
attack.
dagger from Mr. Slardar. Batrider had his before the fight even
Radiant's
started,
middle tower is
and
under
now
attack.
things looking even worse for the Dire side. We're only 11.5 minutes in, but it feels like they're pretty close to Hail Mary mode here, as they are far, far behind. Abaddon looking for a headdress here. Looks like he'll be
Dire's
moving
bottom
towards a nice
tower
early
is
mech,
under
some more
attack.
sustainability for the team. First tower of the match falls in
Dire's
favor
bottom
of Shaman
tower
4
has
as the
fallen.
Dire Tier 1 in the
Radiant's
bottom
top
lane
tower
takes a
is under
tumble.
attack. Radiant
Psycho
structures are
continuing on with
fortified.
his rune control here. Grabs the 10-minute rune, throws it in the bottle, of course, a regeneration. He can be a little bit more aggressive here, perhaps, as we move into the third night cycle in the next 2 minutes. 12-minute rune. What are we
Radiant's
looking at
top
here? It is a
tower is
haste
under
down to the bottom
attack.
position, but won't be scattered out by either
Dire's
side.
bottom tower
Anasha
is
will
under
smoke up with
attack.
their 2 supports. They will make a rotation towards the top lane. Juggernaut, level 6,
Radiant's
has an
middle
Omni,
tower
ready to
is
rock
under
and roll, but
attack.
Slardar comes in, connects with the Slithering Crush and an amp damage, but takes the ultimate here from good old Doom. Psycho, caught in the shackles, does take the Omni Slash, is able to heal up with the wand charges, but he still falls. Mr. Green taking a lot of damage, takes the grave, and it looks like he'll be able to survive this one. Now AO, he TP's in, wants to try and keep his Slardar alive. He'll be successful in his
Radiant's
plight there.
middle
Noob
tower is
Saibot
under attack.
takes the amp damage, and he'll fall. There's your Sunstrike coming in. He'll be off the money once again, and it's a 1-for-1 exchange here in the top lane. Doom for the Night Stalker. This whole time, though,
Radiant's middle
Tampax in the mid
tower is
lane,
under
chipping
attack.
away at this tier 1 tower. Will keep it out of deny range, but does some pretty significant damage. So Dire side finding a good exchange. But meanwhile, up top, Micro Ice finds initiation on the Mushu and will lasso him. I don't know if this will turn into a kill, though. Looks like his team wasn't quite ready for it. Flame Break pushes him to the other side of the trees. Slardar, not a fuck is given in the world here. He dives the tower, takes the shackle. They will secure that kill, but Slardar might not make it out unscathed. Sunstrike will be off the mark again. Still he falls. Doom secures this kill and gets a 900 gold bounty for it. Now AO in some trouble. He's on the run. Does have the borrowed time, though. They proc it. Not much more damage comes his way. Only a minor heal. That's a level 1 poison touch. Still enough to slow him down. Maybe they can secure this kill. One more spell ought to do it, and they'll do just that. Level death from the Doom to secure it. Now Psycho coming in. Witch Doctor joining as well. There's your death ward. Dazzle's fallen. Looks like the Doom could be in some trouble. No, he survives. Mr. Green walks through it as well. Tampax could be in trouble as Psycho crests forward, but the Forged Spirit's enough to repel. So they find a counter kill on the Dazzle, but just not enough. Anasha, they find the better of the exchange. Albeit small, still something. So we see a darkness popped here right before that turn of the 14-minute. And Psycho will start cruising around once again. I'm kind of curious to see what build the Night Stalker is going to go for here. 1,200 gold. He could be looking for an Ag Scepter if he wants to be a little more serious about just moving around, get that epic night vision. We'll hold that thought, though, as Tempex here. He'll get initiated upon, and easy peasy for Shaman+4. Slardar secures that one as he shows off that shiny new Blink Dagger and gets another one up on the scoreboard. Looks like Shaman+4 may go for some tower exchanging here and pressure this tier 1 in the mid lane while letting their tier 1 up in the top lane take a tumble. No glyph
Dire's
available for them,
middle tower
and
is
this
under
tower is
attack.
at about half health, so it looks like, yeah,
Dire's
they
structures
will
are
just go ahead
fortified.
and let her fall. I don't think they'll win this race. Glyph comes out from the Dire side, and they will commit to it. Witch
Radiant's
Doctor,
top
what build are you
tower
looking
is
at
under
here?
attack.
The 3301 at
middle
level
tower
7. Okay,
has fallen.
3 points in cast and 3 points in the
Radiant's
Voodoo
top
Restoration.
tower has fallen.
Just such a great ability against a hero like Doom. So much utility there, and it seems like it doesn't really heal that much, but
Dire's
it's
middle
pretty
tower
damn
is
significant. We've
under
seen a
attack.
couple times this game where Witch Doctor is survived by the skin of his teeth. Compliments of that constant sustain, but here we go. Shaman+4, they'll commit to the tier 2 in the mid lane. Anasha, they've backed up from the top. It looks like they do want to try to make a hold and not do a tier 2 for tier 2 exchange. They will force out the Rost awards. Wow, this is a big win for Shaman+4. They will get a small bounty there, 30 gold for the Night Stalkers. He picks off one of them, but
Dire's courier has been killed.
Dire's Courier gets picked off as well. Mr. Green pressing forward. Blade Fury doing a lot of damage, but not enough to secure the kill. Psycho, now he takes a Doom to the face. Doom showing off the Blink Dagger in a very aggressive position. Now it's AO as well as the Slardar that kind of get left behind, but the rest of the team reinitiating here. Mr. Green gets caught by the lasso, but no Firefly down, and Batrider just hops right into his death. 550 bounty going the way of Invoker, and it is going to be a 1-for-0 exchange. Shaman+4 on the back foot is Anasha now getting very aggressive. They will be able to take down this tower in just a couple of auto attacks. Slardar coming in, connects with 3, and will secure the kill onto the Juggernaut. That makes this fight a 1-for-1. And amp damage comes out on the noob Cybot. Looks like they want to chase down the Doom. It's going to be 2 fights breaking out as Psycho presses forward onto the Shadow Shaman. They'll take a grave, but the rest of the team is here for backup. Maybe Mushu will still fall. There's your Slardar joining the party. And Invoker will take a tumble. Thanks to that paralyzing cast, Mushu won't be able to survive. Psycho chases him down. This is going to be another disastrous fight for the Dire side. They want this support Dazzle. They don't want another grave to come out. He'll fall. Now it's just noob Cybot, and he's down. That's a 5-man wipe once again in favor of Shaman+4. And they will be able to secure this tier 2 tower in the mid, and they keep their tier 1 alive. Adding insult to injury at this point, it looked like Anasha might be able to take a tower in a successful team fight, but now a gold swing of upwards of 10,000 gold in favor of Shaman+4. Experience graph very comparable. Slardar 10, 1, and 6. He's out of control. He's that snowball rolling down the hill, and he is just picking up bricks and sticks and everything else as he gains momentum. 3,000 gold up on him. That's just a casual armlet. Just right-click it, because why not? You can. He's one rich bitch. Psycho, what's he working on? Not going for the Ag Scepter. Much more conventional here. Just phase boot straight into the BKB. So he'll have that pretty soon, just about 500-600 gold off that recipe, so he is in pretty darn good shape. Abaddon now picking up his mech, so all these core items coming up to the Radiant side. We see the Force Staff up on the Bat Rider now, so he has a little more utility. Dire side, really their only item is this Blink Dagger on Doom, and Blink first item on Doom can be okay. They do need some sort of long-range initiation to start off these fights. You can hop in and get Doom on your ideal target, but they just don't have any damage. And of course, if Doom gets initiated on, that's a lot of wasted gold. Doesn't give him a hell of a lot if he can't use it to initiate. So here we go. Speak the devil. Psycho comes in. Will just silence the Doom, chips him down a little bit, and just harassing him, letting him know who's boss, and, well, saying hello a little bit. Really a lack of damage right now from the Dire side. And kind of a lack of sustain as well. Seems weird to say when you have a Dazzle on your team, but he can only put out so much healing, especially when there's no mech. Looks like some more tower for tower exchanging here. Tier 1 in the top in exchange for tier 1 in the mid. That will take the total tower count now 4-2 in favor of Shaman+4. So they still have a pretty significant advantage on that front. Slardar already back up to 1,000 gold, and that tower boost there will be enough to get Night Stalker his BKB. So looks like Shaman+4 are in fighting shape here, and I can't imagine they'll dilly-dally for too long before looking for another engagement. They know they've got a pretty sizable lead right now, and with this huge item disparity, I think this is their time to shine, and they can take another very successful fight. And Invoker, what are you working on? Looks like Force Staff just about to be complete, so not even a drum, just a casual bracer so that he can tank up. A very tanky Invoker build here. With the treads and the bracer. Force Staff, pretty core on the Exort Invoker. You need that utility, the mobility to get around and, well, not just get shut down. But still doesn't really help their damage problem as of now. Juggernaut going for the point booster, so he will commit to an Ag Scepter first. I worry about the timing here. We're already at the 19-minute mark, and he's about halfway to the Ag Scepter. It'll be an okay timing, but nothing spectacular. One of the great things about the Ag Scepter on Jug is that, well, it gives you a little bit of tank ability as well as buffs up your Omni Slash. And if you get it early enough, it makes that Omni Slash really ridiculous. Like level 11, 12 bounces is a lot of damage, and that's kind of that timing you're looking for. And if Mr. Green can find a kill or two in this next fight, perhaps he can make it happen. But if he gets shut down, he's going to be left with just a point booster, not much else to show for it. Will be a 5-man smoke from Anasha as they rotate across the Roche pit and down towards the bottom lane. No, they actually smoke into Roche. Very cheeky play from the Dire side. I like this. They're rather far behind, and they need to do something, you know? They can't just sit back and farm, so risky, but they'll go for it. They just, again, the damage is kind of coming into the limelight here. They are lacking in the damage department. This is a slow Roche, and the Radiant side, they'll smoke into Roche as well, and oh no, they see it. This is a disaster for the Dire side. Doom uses his blink defensively as he hops out of the pit. Shaman wards come down. There's your Death Ward coming in from the Shadow, or pardon me, the Witch Doctor as well. It does get interrupted, but Invoker and Shadow Shaman have already fallen. The Grave comes out on the Dazzle, but it's just not enough. It's a 3-0, and it's a disaster for the Dire side. Doom popped his ultimate onto the Bat Rider, and that's something, but it also already went off. It's a 4-0 exchange. Now they'll be able to snipe an easy Roche. They'll even be able to clean up the roster wards. Juggernaut, the only one that survived, and that's going to be it. It falls to the Radiant. Age is picked up by Abaddon, and they clean up the wards. Oh, my Lanta. I think we may not be too far off a GG here. Shaman+4. Perfect timing to hop into the Roche pit. Roche was low, and they knew exactly what they needed to do. Great initiation, and as I talked about, that Blink Dagger first on Doom, it's not a bad item if you can get the jump, but if you're in a situation like that where you have to use it to blink out of the pit, you're stuck walking around with this huge 2,000 gold investment, and you can't do anything. The Doom on the Bat Rider after he lassoed as well, certainly not ideal from the perspective of the Doom. Shaman+4 thinking about trying to break the high ground, but we're still only 21 minutes in, so the respawn timer is very short for the Dire side, and they won't be able to break the high ground quite yet, but instead they'll rotate down towards the bottom lane, and it looks like they'll settle for a tier 2 tower. Let's take a gander at the old gold graph here. About 14,000 gold, 15,000 experience, so things continuing to move in their favor. Now a Vladimir's offering up on the Abaddon. Great choice here, especially when you have all these melee heroes. Triple melee for the Radiant side, so making good use of that lifesteal, and of course all that extra armor. Just all-around good item on the Abaddon there. Only one outer tower remaining for the Dire side, and it is this tier 2 in the top lane. So Anasha, not quite on that last leg, but they're getting there. Maybe a leg and a half or so. They need something radical to turn this one around. I would be tempted to say this is in the hands of Shaman+4 to throw. Looking at the net worth chart, that pretty much tells the story of this game. Juggins now picked up his Ogre Club, so still those first 2 pieces of the Aghanim Scepter, but 1,500 gold until he'll be able to pick up that Blade of Alacrity and Staff of Wizardry. I'm not sure that Shaman+4 really going to give him the time he needs to get that Bad Daddy up. Look at this Slardar, another 3,600 gold up on this guy. He is massive. He can get pretty much anything he wants at this point. Assault Cuirass is kind of the classic item that comes to mind. Synergizes so well with Slardar. It helps tank him up and gives him a lot of DPS with that attack speed, plus synergizes well with the minus armor. But nope, he'll just go conventional as well, straight into the BKB, and a few more creeps until he'll be able to grab the recipe. Night Stalker looks like he'll get best of both worlds here, grab the BKB, and now moving into an Aghanim Scepter as well, point booster, and just 1,000 gold to go before he gets to complete that item. Also an invisibility rune in the bottle, so he may be a little sneaky here coming up in this next engagement. Even the Witch Doctor, Ag Scepters all around. He's got himself the point booster and also level 11, so the Death Ward getting that much more potent. And also Drum of Endurance, even more interesting item choices here. Not one you see picked up on Witch Doctor. He's a hero that we even often see just brown boots straight into Ag's Rush sometimes. The Arcane Boots can be a little hit or miss, but drums, not all too frequently. Tier 2 tower in the top lane falls, and bottom tier 1 falls as well. Mr. Green does grab a tier 1 for the tier 2 exchange, at least finds some gold boost for his team. It's better than nothing, but Shaman+4 knocking on the front door. Looks like they will press forward. Mushu preemptively puts down the wards, and it'll tickle the Slardar a little bit, but won't do too much to delay this push. Dazzle throws down a nice aggressive ultimate to try and repel Shaman+4. Micro Ice looking for the lasso initiation, but won't be able to find one that meets his fancy. And Shaman+4 will back out. They might just wait this out. The wards have an obvious timer here, so no need to be hyper aggressive. They can just wait out, let this creep wave fall, and then as soon as the Shaman wards go down, they can push into the base, or they can switch to another lane. Either or, sort of different means to the same end, completely nullifying the roster wards. And that's part of the problem with preemptively putting them down. If you don't force the opposition to commit, well, we'll hold that thought as Noob Saibot. He gets jumped on. Blink Dagger not going to do a hell of a lot when you get caught in a lasso like that. Doom instant buyback to try and make something happen here, but Dazzle falls. No grave for you, and this is rough for the Dire side. Slardar, he takes a Doom to the face as well as an Omni Slash, but they've got plenty of sustain. This Doom will not be enough to secure the kill. Now Witch Doctor ulti comes down, doing a lot of damage to Noob Saibot. He gets healed up. He'll survive for now. Mr. Green taking a lot of damage from the ward as well, but not going to survive past the tier 4s. They won't dive onto the Doombringer, but another disastrous team fight. They dropped pretty much everything they had and couldn't secure any kills. This time Sunstrike will be on the money, but damage split across all those units won't be enough for the kill on Slardar. Glyph comes out, and this will at the very least be a tier 3 tower kill. Juggernaut coming up in about 25 seconds. It's a 5v4 in the field, but the big cooldowns are the bottleneck here for Anasha. This Invoker, he needs to do something. We need to see some meatballs, man. Let's see some damage. Definitely blast meatballs, maybe start throwing some tornadoes. Oh man, this Dire side, they're just lacking from damage, and I feel like this Invoker has been so lackluster. His farm is leaving something to be desired, but if he was snowballing out of control, high level, he could be doing a lot of damage right now, and that's one of the reasons you'll see Exort Invokers very frequently go for that Hand of Midas. Not only for the gold farm, but also the experience farm. If Invoker can become a few levels up and kind of hold that place on the field, the damage output is insane, but in games like this where he's, you know, past that like 50 percentile in terms of XP. It's definitely rough stuff. Psycho. Uh-oh. That's a big Omni Slash, and he'll be in some trouble. He will pop the BKB, sips the bottle, and he might actually be able to survive this. He takes a positive earn charge as well. Sunstrike. He jukes it. Goes back for the regeneration rune. Probably would have been on the money, but that regen rune makes him double back, and that'll be enough for him to survive. So maybe a small stroke of luck there for the Night Stalker as he gets hyper-aggressive on the Dazzle. Omni Slash just not enough to bring him down. So, Anasha Gaming, they're still in it for now, but 20,000 golden experience deficit. Be lying if I said it wasn't looking grim. Shadow Shaman picks up his first core item here at the 26-minute mark. Of course, those are the arcane booties. Here we'll see Darkness popped, and now Shaman+4. They will press forward. Omni Slash on cooldown for another 20, but Ross Awards as well as Doom are available here. So it won't be the easiest push for Shaman+4. Remember, they do still have the Aegis, I think. Nope, that was burned a while ago. Never mind. Mr. Green, though, gets initiated on this time. No Juggernaut for you. Lasso translates to a kill. The rest of them pressing forward now. Noob Cybot pops the ultimate out onto the Shadow Shaman, so there won't be a Witch Doctor. Why do I keep confusing them? A Witch Doctor ultimate here, but it just doesn't matter. They're getting completely run down at this point. It doesn't matter how you use the spells. Anasha are just too underfarmed. It's an easy 5-0 wipe, and Shaman+4 will get an easy lane of racks. They'll clean up the Rost Awards and probably get another lane of racks here as well. Again, the respawn timers are just so damn low. No buybacks available except the Shadow Shaman, but not even worth buying back at this point. I don't know why I keep confusing Shadow Shaman and Witch Doctor. That's my bad, but nice Doom on the Witch Doctor target. The problem is there's just too many damn heroes to Doom. You kind of want to Doom the Night Stalker, but not really, because, you know, Witch Doctor is just a support, but his ultimate will kind of cripple you if you don't interrupt it. And then you've got Bat Rider, who you'd love to Doom, but he's been doing a great job finding the jump instead of vice versa. So mid lane of racks have fallen. Anasha in it to win it, though. They won't tap out quite yet. Still no glyph available, not for quite a few minutes here. Musha gets initiated on as the Slardar hops forward. Huge damage coming out from him. Another Omni Slash popped, but the Slardar just too tanky. Plenty of sustain. Oh, they bring him down. And Doom, he gets that 1,200 bounty. Buyback from the Slardar as he wants to rejoin the party. The rest of the fight breaking out now. Micro Ice on the run. Psycho doing a lot of damage. Goes for Mr. Green, and he'll win the man fight. AO still here as well. Looks like Noob Cybot could be in some trouble. No, this entire team, they're all so low level. They just keep respawning. And Shaman+4 cannot break the bottom lane of racks. They will have to recoup a little bit here. Maybe a bit of a rage buyback from the Slardar. He's level 15. That was a 1,200 gold bounty going the way of the Doom. The level death. Yep, that's a max level death. No, it's not. It's only level 2. Whoa, but it's level 5. I assumed he's level 15. I thought it was the 3, but it's the 5. He got the extra damage there. That's what the key is. So only 2 points in it, but proves valuable. Noob Cybot gets initiated on here as the Slardar hops forward. Maybe the buyback won't be in vain after all. Slardar pops the BKB. Shaman+4, they've had their kicks. They just want to finish it. Slardar goes for the tower. Now we see a meatball, but too little, too late as it's off the mark. Shaman wards come down again, but they're in kind of this awkward spot. They will defend the moon well. That is this Singleton building here, defended by the Mass Serpent wards, but I don't know that it'll be enough to hold the base. Bottom tier 3 tower has fallen, and it feels like just a matter of time. Uh-oh, the Witch Doctor here. He's picked up his Aghanim Scepter, and that's when his ultimate gets scary. Some of the highest damage output potential in the game. All physical damage, 4 bounces. Oh, it's going to get dirty. This next team fight will most definitely be a bit disastrous here. Bat Rider hops forward, looking for a lasso. Won't find it. Gets hexed instead, but the rest of the team follows up. Slardar secures the kill onto the Dazzle. Omni Slash bouncing around, but there's just no follow-up damage. Blade Fury afterwards. Micro Ice with his BKB pop goes right onto the Doombringer. He'll be caught inside the lasso. The follow-up damage is not quite there, though. Tempex, he's in some trouble. And he will do a little ring around the Rosie, but Slardar's Blink Dagger proves just a bit too effective. Anasha hiding in the well as their barracks get taken down. Mid lane of creeps pressing forward as well. And we really should be moments from a GG at this point. Maybe one last team fight here, but Shaman+4 are doing it. Mr. Green will get picked off. There's your bouncing Death Ward. And the GG well played come out. So Shaman+4 with a commanding performance in the first round of this I-League Open. Wow, 42-8. It's a massacre. Get the mop and bucket, because there's some blood on the ground. Well, y'all, game 1, we knew nothing about these teams, and at least it was an action-packed game. I would have thought Anasha had the better draft on paper, but as we talked about, sometimes it's about execution, and Invoker definitely left something to be desired. I kind of want to look at the damage done overall that game. Let's take just a quick gander. I want to see how much the Invoker did, because it felt like he did 9,500 damage that entire game. That's a little more than I thought. To give you some context, Slardar did about 17,000, and the Night Stalker did about 19,000. Juggernaut 12k, and Invoker about 9.5. So a little better than I would have thought, but just felt a little lackluster overall. So, all right, guys, we will have a little break here. Looks like about 10 to 15 minutes or so. Team Tinker is coming up next. I'm so excited. I'm not sure who are they facing off against. It is a team that I'm not privy to, not one that I know, but I'm just so excited to see Team Tinker. They are going up against Team Phoenix, so should be interesting. Again, I'm Zayori, slated to solo cast tonight, guys. Stay tuned, because 2 more best of ones coming your way for iLeague on BTS in just a minute.